talk will be back-to-back, approximately 20 minutes each, followed by a short Q&A for both presenters, or presentations rather. Lastly, additional information about future ATE project talks can be found on the Innovate Bio website, which we will put in the chat. Thank you. At this time, it is with great pleasure that I introduce our first speaker, Dr. Gary Green. Dr. Green's presentation is titled Developing the Skilled Technical Workforce in Regenerative Medicine. He will discuss his project's partnerships and primary activities in developing a regional model for skilled technician workforce development in regenerative medicine biomanufacturing. Welcome, Dr. Green.
Thank you, and thanks for everyone for joining us today. It's a pleasure to be with you. I'm going to share some slides. Everyone can see that okay. First, maybe just a note of background. I actually come out of a community college education background with having worked in Kentucky, Alabama, and then ultimately in North Carolina, including serving for 17 years as the president of Forsyth Technical Community College in Winston-Salem. And after retiring from that, I joined the Institute for Regenerative Medicine at Wake Forest University, first on a consulting basis, and then with a faculty appointment and leading their development of a skilled workforce and supporting the development of a skilled workforce for regenerative medicine. So that's sort of what brought me here today from many years in community college education. But I want to start off by just sharing some basic information on our grant and our partners. We were awarded a grant in 2021 through the ATE program, and our partners were the Wake Forest Institute for Regenerative Medicine, which falls under the Wake Forest School of Medicine, Forsyth Technical Community College, which is here in Winston-Salem, Simon G. Atkins High School, which has a specialized high school major in biotechnology that's been an important part of the educational ecosystem here. The Regen Med Development Organization, which is a 501c3 organization serving as a nexus between the academic environment and regenerative medicine and the business environment. And then we had three regional HBCUs, let me say HBCUs in our region. They're not just regional institutions, but Winston-Salem State University, NC A&T University, and North Carolina Central University. Our leadership team, and you will recognize some of these individuals from their work with biotech broadly in community colleges, in addition to myself, Joan Shank with Wake Forest Institute for Regenerative Medicine, which I'll refer to as a W firm, by the way. Darren Hickerson, a company representative on our team, Russ Reed, and Cheryl Burrell with Forsyth Technical Community College, Terry Howerton with Simon G. Atkins High School, and Bill Woodruff, who of course is currently a consultant in biotech education. And we had outstanding external evaluators, which were very helpful with the Innovative Educational Consultant Group. First, what we wanted to do, we came together as partners. We knew each other. And we came together to establish and prepare the highly skilled workforce for regenerative medicine biomanufacturing in the North Carolina Piedmont Triad region. The Piedmont Triad region being an area of about 9 to 10 counties that are centered around, or they're centered in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and sort of the north central part of the state. And the rationale was that we were having now employers in regenerative medicine come to us and say that they were ready to start ramping up hiring for biomanufacturing in regenerative medicine. And they had a need, and they could foresee a long-term need for highly skilled technicians who were knowledgeable about the field of regenerative medicine. We started off doing some research and looked specifically at the work that had been done by the National Network of Business and Industry Associations and their core skills for manufacturing work. The National Center for Biotechnology Workforce, which was established and is operational at Forsyth Technical Community College, and REMDU research on current needs specific to regenerative medicine, REMDU, Regen Med Development Organization. And we looked at the current national efforts that have provided the foundation for a model for regenerative medicine skilled technical workforce, and that includes the work of Innovate Bio. Regenerative medicine, to start off with sort of maybe briefly, what is it? Regenerative medicine is the process of taking cells and tissues and expanding them into and growing organs outside the body for transplantation, using enabling technologies like bioprinting and body-on-a-chip technologies, uses tissue engineering, including the use of scaffolds and a multidisciplinary approach to creating and actually building organs, if you will. Includes cell therapy, use of biomaterials, body-on-a-chip technology, 3D printing, research and products that are based in small molecules, and then next generation diagnostics and personalized medicine. So it is a multidisciplinary field that requires many different skills coming together from the research perspective and the production perspective in biomanufacturing. And it requires at least a broad understanding of multiple disciplines among the skilled technicians who are working in the field. Our grant program really was built around some sort of key objectives. First was to increase the knowledge and application of regenerative medicine among K-12 community college and HBCU faculty, focused primarily in our region. And we undertook some faculty development activities, faculty summer efforts, summer seminar, which was focused around the W-Firm Regenerative Medicine Essentials course. And we began with a pilot group of community college faculty from Forsyth Technical Community College, and then expanded out sort of in concentric circles to those then other institutions that were adjacent to and in the same region as Forsyth Tech, and then ultimately expanding it out to colleges within the North Carolina Community College system that had expertise in biotechnology and bioprocessing, and thus were already in the business of creating the skilled technicians in those areas, though not necessarily specifically for regenerative medicine. Because of the pandemic, the first couple of years that we conducted the faculty development activities, we were able to combine the attendance with the Regenerative Medicine Essential course with the annual World Stem Cell Summit, which has been held virtually during the pandemic, and actually only went back to a live meeting last year. So it created kind of a unique opportunity for community college and HBCU faculty, especially, to participate not only in the core skill area course, the Essentials course, but also to attend the World Stem Cell Summit. K-12 teacher development, we found fairly early on that the kinds of development programs that maybe were appropriate or particularly helpful and valuable for our community college and particularly for our undergraduate university faculty from our HBCUs, were not as helpful for our K-12 teachers. So we ended up developing separate activities that were more targeted towards the K-12 teacher development area, and launched those in 2023. We also were very intentional about the development of an educational ecosystem for Regen Med biomanufacturing, such things as cross collaboration efforts among our community colleges and universities, including work with K-12 and community college dual enrollment, as well as looking at programmatic articulation and transfer, and how we could support efforts between the community college, particularly our community college in the center of our region, and the HBCUs that were our partners. Out of this came a model which we have really guided our efforts, not only for the NSF ATE project that we have, but other projects, and ultimately for the educational ecosystem that we're trying to develop around regenerative medicine to build that economic cluster in our region. And so here you see the model that we developed for our region. We have also found in working with partners across the country and even sharing internationally that they have found this model valuable in thinking through what might be their participating organizations, participating institutions in developing a workforce model for their particular region. So you see at the top there sort of the generic layout, a progression from high school to community college to university, and including work-based learning. And in the large area there, you see the specifics of our ecosystem here. And then we wanted to continue this with the dissemination of knowledge. Regenerative medicine is a very dynamic field, continuously changing. We have new developments in regenerative medicine almost daily. And so we wanted to keep the field informed, not only to give them some foundational training and education for faculty, but to keep them informed. And the effort here took the part primarily of developing webinars that were specific to regenerative medicine going forward. Here you see some of our activities that we had around the objective of disseminating knowledge, discovery, and innovation. Some of our webinars, building the regenerative medicine biomanufacturing workforce, which was based around the model that I just showed you, as well as an article that we published in the RefRead medical journal, Stem Cell Translational Medicine, for to lay out our findings around what skills were needed and what the skills gaps were for regenerative medicine. Career pathways for regenerative medicine, incorporating regenerative medicine into the curriculum. How do you take regenerative medicine to your students? And then update on some of the primary technologies, enabling technologies around regenerative medicine, such as tissue engineering, bioprinting, and body-on-a-chip technologies. We've also done a number of presentations around workforce development, regenerative medicine, including the Mayo Clinic Symposium on Regenerative Medicine and Surgery in 2002, and the World Stem Cell Summit generally annually. We've also been invited to present our work to AMTP Sweden, for example. So it is generated interest as this is a global science and a global technology that is emerging among partner countries as well. So just briefly then, some outcomes that we've had. In our faculty development effort, over the last 3 years, we now have 35 grant-sponsored community college and HBCU faculty who have attended the Regenerative Medicine Essentials course and through a couple of years, the World Stem Cell Summit. These faculty have taken their experience and their learning back to their institutions and done what we had hoped would occur, and that is introduce this in everything from basic biology, biochemistry, microbiology, other foundational courses, but they've also taken it into specifically some of the associate degree programs around biotechnology and bioprocessing for our community college partners, and even degree programs in various aspects of applied biology for our baccalaureate granting institutions there. And so we feel like this set of champions that we've developed for higher education in our region is beginning to make a difference in terms of the basic knowledge that students coming out of our programs have. The participants thoroughly appreciated and were satisfied with their effort. 90 to 95% were satisfied or highly satisfied in our evaluation efforts for the faculty development efforts. The other key outcomes is around our webinars, and we had actually even larger numbers than we expected. We had from 95 to 200 faculty, administrators, and students for each of the webinars that we were able to offer. While they were focused on particularly our area, we did open them up, and through word of mouth and through some distribution of information, we had not only community college educators, university educators that were specifically interested in baccalaureate education, which was our focus, along with associate degree, but we had others joining us as well, including students, graduate students, postdocs, so on. And then we were also developing an ecosystem, and we had regular meetings on 3-week intervals, and this resulted in multiple collaborations. Just a couple of examples I can point to. In January, we had the First Lady, Dr. Jill Biden, visit our area and visit Forsyth Technical Community College. We had the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy visit the Wake Forest Institute for Regenerative Medicine, and workforce development was a key aspect of both of those visits. And then one of the things that we're particularly happy with, we were actually the first announced awardee of an NSF Type 1 Engines project, which is potentially a 10-year NSF TIP investment in regional innovation, in our case around regenerative medicine. And the foundation that we built and the collaborations that we built around the workforce work of our ATE grant contributed significantly to our ability to compete and ultimately be awarded one of the first NSF Engines programs. And with that, I'll share my contact information. You're welcome to reach out at any time. And thank you for letting me present some of our work today.
Thank you, Dr. Green, for sharing your ATE project. Please join me in welcoming our second talk speakers, Dr. Sandra Porter and Todd Smith. Their presentation is titled Biotech-Careers.org, a new skills database, and Biotech-Opoly, a game for teaching. A game for learning. Welcome, Dr. Porters and Smith.
Thanks, Dion. I'm going to be the main speaker today, but if there are things that Todd feels he'd like to jump in and add to, as many of you know, he will not hesitate to do that. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. I've also posted this document in chat so you can download it. And I will post it as well on our presentation page when we have the recording available on the website. So you should be able to get all the information. So the work that I'm going to talk about today began with a website that was launched in 2012 through the former National Center for Biotechnology Education, BioLink. So it was launched in 2012. We continued it after BioLink sunsetted in 2018 through an ATE grant called A Bridge to BioLink's Future. So we've been working on this for a long time, and you see some changes from time to time. So you can get to the website either by Googling biotech-careers.org or typing the URL, or we also have the URL biotech.org, thanks to Jim DeClos. And what I'm going to talk about today, since a lot of people have been asking about internships, this capability has been on the website for a long time, but I'm going to quickly show you how you can find internships and then go through the new things that we've added to the site. We've updated our alumni page. We have more alumni than we did before, and we've added a skills database and a database for skill standards. And then after that, I'm going to talk about Biotech-Opoly, which is a game that is kind of grew out of the website and integrates with the website. Okay, so quickly, how to find internships. All right, I'm at biotech-careers.org. And if you notice here, there's a big orange button that says search for jobs. All right, I can do that. And when you click that button, it will show you biotechnology jobs in whatever city you're in. I guess maybe you might have to have locations turned on your computing device. I'm not sure about that. But you can see for me, it's showing me what's available in Seattle. I can also just type US and I can get jobs that are categorized as biotechnology throughout the United States. Okay, well, if I can find jobs, guess what? I can also find internships. So after biotechnology, I know this is light, I type internship and I do a search, and I see right now there are 45 internships that are advertised in the United States. Now, some are going to fit better than others, but these are internships that, your students might be interested in applying for. You can filter these to your area by substituting US to your city or your state. And that's another way you can look for internships. Okay, there's one other way that we can look for internships here. Our other job search page. Actually, that's not the one I wanted. If I go up to biotech jobs, we have found we've written some programs that tell us about companies in our database. Now, I didn't mention this before, but we've been working on building this database of biotech or biotech-related employers, and they are worldwide. We have 9,500, always increasing. It goes up and it goes down as companies get bought or new companies appear. And we have this program that goes through and looks at all the employer websites, and we have it ask, does that employer website have career pages? Or are they advertising for employees? And do they have internship pages? And you can see there's 125 companies that have internship pages on their websites. And you can learn about are any of them in your area just by typing the city. So if I type like Houston and say apply, I can see there's 6 companies or employers in Houston that have internship information on their websites. Now, they might not always be looking for interns, but no, there's a better chance that they're looking than those that don't. All right, so that's a little bit about finding internships. Those capabilities have been there for a long time. That's not really anything new. Now, what's new on our site? So this is the information I'm really kind of excited to tell you about. the new things on our site, I said the skills database and our new information about alumni profiles. So I give a lot of talks to students, high school students, and to community college students who are studying careers and learning about careers in biotechnology and bioscience related fields. The way I normally do this is I think about either nouns, people, places, and things, and jobs, or I use the approach people, places, products, and pathways. Then I can say the 4 Ps, which sounds catchier, I think. All right, so people, we have some catchy icons here on the front so you can navigate a little bit easier. Most of the people are our alumni talking about their career paths. Places, that's that company database we have that shows the 9,500 some companies around the world. Products, those are the business areas that companies work on. And pathways, well, those are the careers. And the job areas kind of pull some of these things together. All right, so let's look at people. We have, I think, about 44 now, 44 profiles. And you can see the title for the job that they have. You can see pictures of people on the job. And for some of our newer profiles, we can go to those and we can see a short video about 5 to 7 minutes of them talking about their career pathway and how they got to where they are. This was some work that we did last spring. We worked with faculty at a lot of different community colleges to find alumni that they thought would be interested in talking. And then we had kind of a presentation and a short networking session afterwards. And we'll be doing a little bit more of that as well. So Essence was at Johnston Community College in North Carolina. And she actually got a quality control lab position at Pepsi after her high school work because she had the BioWork certificate, which was very helpful for her. And then she went to an internship at Novo Nordisk as a manufacturing associate and was promoted to being a quality control microbiologist. And you can come here and hear her story, which is great. So we pull out some things about what people do, about the degrees they've completed. We link to the colleges so that we, can help them recruit a little bit. And we talk a little bit about their career path. And on the side, you can see we have all the profiles, and you can navigate to any of these just by clicking the links. Okay, so those are our new redesigned and nicer looking alumni profile pages. Now I'm going to go to careers so I can show you more about the skills and how we're using the skills database. So if I go to careers, what I will see here is some information at the top and some keys for how you can interpret some of the quick information that you see on the cards. As these are showing minimum education for some of the different positions. If I go to one of the positions, let's see, let's look at that quality control microbiologist position down here. I can click the card. Like the alumni profiles, I have a list of all the, I guess we have 33 different positions in here right now, all 33 positions. And now we have some fast facts and we have skills that are involved in working in those jobs. So we have pay, we've updated this a bit. Luckily, some states now are requiring companies to put salary information on their job posts. So that's been very helpful for us. Though we have to say, the salaries do vary a lot around the country. Salaries on the West Coast are going to be higher than, say, North Carolina or the Southeast. Salaries in Boston, Philadelphia will be higher as well. We have technical skills, we have knowledge skills, technical skills, professional skills. And for each one of these, if you were to look at one, we'll say CGMP manufacturing, we have a short description of what is that? What does that mean in practical terms? We have our careers that use those skills. And we have a link to our job search. So if you want to see jobs that require CGMP manufacturing knowledge or skills, I just click that button and I can see there's 18 in Seattle alone. If I look at the US, I can see that there are over 1,300 different jobs that are requiring, knowledge of current good manufacturing practices. And to, know more about any of these, you would just click the link. You would get rid of that hiring information there, and you could read about the jobs and see, what they're asking for, what skills they're looking for. By the way, those skills that I mentioned, where did we get them? We got the skills from this published skill standards, but a lot of the skills also came from the job ads. So we looked at jobs that matched the career descriptions that we have on the website, and we looked at the kinds of things that the ads listed as requirements for that job. So those would be jobs requiring CGMP manufacturing. So you could look at any skill and see, well, what are jobs that are listing that skill? You could also, from any of our positions, go directly to jobs that relate to that particular position. So for microbiology quality control, we can see today in Seattle, at this moment, there are 6 in the United States. We can see there's 107 positions for somebody to work in microbiology quality control. This information, by the way, changes every single day. and sometimes multiple times a day. So, you can, if you're looking for something, it pays to keep track and pays to continuously look. Okay, so that's what we have for our new skills database and information about skills. Continuing down the career page, we have some information about education and training. What is a day like? What do people do on this job? Where you might learn the skills you need to be somebody like a quality control microbiologist. And actually, we have really focused on, of course, the Innovate Bio programs. So when we update program information for Innovate Bio programs, we have that linked here. So if you were to follow these links, you would go to the Innovate Bio website and you would see the programs that list these certificates or degrees as information that they teach. We are working towards expanding that information to specific skills, but that will be coming a bit later. You can also see employers that hire quality control microbiologists. So the number here in parentheses are the number of employers that list something related to microbiology or quality control microbiology in their job descriptions. If I go to, say, microbiome companies, I click this, it'll take me to our company database. And I'll see that there are 246 employers around the world that we have that say they do something with microbiome. If we look at what other things they say they do, plenty work on therapeutics or probiotics or skin or ag biotech or animal nutrition. We can kind of get a little bit more of a picture about what are these microbiome companies doing and what sorts of areas are they emphasizing. We can also scroll down. We could filter by United States, or do those companies have career information on their websites? Do those companies have internship information on their websites? And we can scroll down and have links to the different companies and go to the pages and go to their websites and see a little bit more about what they do. Okay, going back to my career page, which we have a lot, right? Continuing down the page, we can see related careers, related job areas, and we also have some videos from people that are talking about those careers. And then you can see here we have that alumni profile I showed you earlier. So things all kind of connect to each other. Okay, so that's Biotech-Careers in a nutshell, or at least part of Biotech-Careers in a nutshell. There's a lot more here that I'm not going to talk about today because There's only so much time. We realized too, though, using a website is great and it's fun and there's a lot of information, but there are a lot more ways to learn about careers that can be interactive. And we also wanted to include a way for students to learn a little bit more about business concepts and why drug development costs so much and what it means to have people working in different parts of different companies. So we made a game, and the game is called Biotech-Opoly. And Maggie Bryans is the one who coined the name for the game. This is the antibody edition, so it's focused on companies that are trying to make antibody products. You can get the game, it's print on demand. There are a lot of people who contributed to making this game. Maggie, Francis Weiss Garcia, Feather Ives, Dua Hassan, Todd Smith, Mike Jenkins, Aaron Kamajaya, who I believe is on our call, Sheila Vemu, and our daughter and her fiance helped a lot with playing and testing and telling us that this would work for people that are not knowledgeable in biotechnology. So what does the game do? So in the game, I'm going to an online version that we have that if you're interested in just trying this out, email me and I can send you the link, or I also did put the link on that handout. All right, so how does this work? Well, you've got products, you've got your company. Your goal is to get your product from the preclinical phase to phase 1, from phase 1 to phase 2-3 to phase 2-3 to market, and to get to market first. Now, this game is focused on biomedical biotechnology. In preclinical, you're getting all kinds of data and information that you're going to need to go into phase 1. In phase 1, you're looking at safety, but you've got information you need in order to get to phase 2 and phase 3, which we've combined for sake of time here. In phase 2 and 3, you're looking at efficacy. That is, does the drug work? And you're getting information about labeling and how you package this drug, how you manufacture it, and then, of course, you go to market. Okay, so how do you get from one to the other? Well, you have to get certain kinds of data, and you have to get certain kinds of documents. So in the preclinical phase, you're getting information like your product stability. Does it work in cell culture? Does it work in animals? And you have to have hired certain people. You also, there is an operations manager here, the CRO, and you have some options. So you can either, if you've hired a operations manager and the blue flask is a research technician and the antibody is a bioprocessing or biomanufacturing technician, it will cost you $800,000 to get this data. If you have an operations manager, you can work with a contract research organization. Now it's going to cost you more, but you have to have the operations manager to oversee that relationship. Anyway, 1.6 million. So there's some options for what you need to get. And sometimes you need to have certain kinds of data to be able to get a card. Okay, the phase 1, 2, 3, these are going to be concerned with safety and dosing data and manufacturing. And phase 2, 3 here, you're going to have data, you're going to have information about your labeling, documentation, your batch records, and things like that. Okay, so how do you get these cards? Well, your company goes around the outside. You've got dice that you roll. If you land on data and documents, you can buy data. If you land on hire, you can hire people. Choice, you get a choice. And fundraising, you get money every time you pass fundraising. You also have the possibility of landing on luck or karma. Luck could be good or bad. Here's an example of a luck card. And all of our examples here come from real life. We thought for luck, it'd be interesting for students to know more about the real life example. So we put QR codes so you can go read about what was this? When did this happen? Karma is usually bad, but not always. And you can protect yourself. If you've hired the right people, you're not really going to have some kind of flash fire, right? If you've hired a safety person to help prevent that kind of thing. And you also get a choice sometimes. So if you've hired this person, you get a choice, and that allows you to either hire more people or get data. Okay, so the careers, we have 15 different, actually 14 different, but one you hire 2 people that are the same, different careers, and you can see the cost of hiring this person or any of these people at the bottom. As you go around, when you get to start, you pay money for every person that you've hired, fees, taxes, salaries, things like that. And you can take out a loan if you're running short of money. Oh yeah, and we have legal counsel also, because companies sue each other. If you look at the news, you find that happens a lot. And Maggie says the last time her students played, they were all suing each other. So yeah, it adds some of an interesting twist to the game. And that concludes my part of the presentation. So I guess we have some questions now in chat. Oh, thanks, Carla. I appreciate that. Oh, great. And Gary's put a link to his paper here too. And Dion has put a link to Biotech-Careers as well. All right, so I guess we can have people asking questions. Oh, I should tell you too, since the games are print on demand, it does take about I would allow at least a month before, if you're going to order it and use it, because it does take them a little bit of time to print it and get to you. And we are selling this at cost, so I know it's not cheap, and it keeps us from being too tempted to add too many more parts to it. Because we have a really cool 3-dimensional biomanufacturing plant in there, but we don't want to make too many 3D parts because it could be more expensive. So okay, here's a question. How many students per game board? Well, you could imagine we have it set up so there could be 4 people or 4 teams. I think it's really great to have students play in teams, because I've found that as things are going faster and faster, you start to forget to ask for your money. It's really important that you collect your money when you pass the fundraising steps, because you're going to need that to get data. Oh, and the amount of money changes also as you go through. I mean, once you get into phase 1, when you're in preclinical, you get 500,000 when you pass fundraising, or maybe a little more, a little less if you roll the dice and land on it. When you're in phase 1, you get $1 million. When you're in phase 2, you get $2 million. But it's good if you're on a team, one person on the team can keep track and make sure that you get your money when you pass it. So yeah, how many people per game board? I think 4 teams of 2 would be fine, but if you want bigger teams, you could certainly try that. How much does a game cost? It costs like $86, but there's a certain amount for shipping, and shipping is going to vary depending on where you live. And if you just want to take a look, you can email me and I can get you the link to the online set to take a look and check it out. We may bring it to High Tech again too. I know some of you played it at High Tech last year. So more questions. Actually, I'm going to ask Aaron, since you're on here, Aaron. Aaron played it with his daughter. So Aaron, how could you play this with kids?
Yes, I mean, I tried it. I mean, of course, you have to give her a lot of guidance. My daughter's only, at that time was 6 years old. I know the game says minimum 12 years old. So, but it is just good to learn about, what is manufacturing technician, what do they do? Like, so I start introducing her about all this thing about lawsuit. What is a lawsuit? So there's a lot of this interesting conversation. So yeah, and also like I tried it in my high school biotech classroom too for the dual enrollment. That's the first thing to get their attention, I guess. They like the board game, and it's very interesting when you in a group when you put them in a group. you can hear the conversation and you can see the different group dynamic between one team versus another. One team is sort of like, let's shoot them, let's go shoot them, and something like that. And the other one's more like, it's okay, you know, we're gonna, whatever, we're gonna be nice or whatever, you know. It's very interesting group dynamic. It's playing in a group is actually better.
I have one more question and then Gary will answer his. I actually don't know if it's more appropriate for first semester or fourth semester students. I know Maggie has had her students play at the very start of their program. Aaron, what would you say? Maybe all along?
I usually, I like the game to introduce students to the world of biotech. I mean, I use it for recruitment as well. You know, in a club, sometimes we play it. And they, you know, oftentimes the student in my institution, they go to science major because they want to go into healthcare career, like the medical school, doctor. They don't know any other career beside, you know, those health, you know, patient care related career, right? So by doing this one, they learn about, oh, there's a project manager. Oh, there's a CRO. What is a CRO? Then we start conversation. Oh, what is that? You know. So I think it is very useful, at least for me, for recruitment and bring awareness to, you know, to biotech careers.
Thanks. I should mention too, I did not talk much about the products themselves. But Maggie, I know Maggie had her students research some of the antibody products. And so they came in knowing what antibody products they were working on. So if they were working on Keytruda or something like that, they already had an idea about, you know, what their products were and what the products did. And Lori, we can play it in an hour and a half with people that have never played before. But that's playing it with 2 teams of 2 people. Okay. And now, Gary, I should let you answer.
Yeah, we have a question from Dion that asked specifically about K-12 teacher development and dual enrollment in community college. We haven't seen dramatic increases, I don't think, in enrollment. Some at the high school level, because it's brought more attention to the programs at the high school level, particularly within this biotech major we have in one of our high schools. So we've had some there. But I think the advantage we've seen is students are now more aware of the kinds of career opportunities that are available in our region, and in areas like regenerative medicine that they didn't even know that existed before. And I think this it cuts across a number of areas, some unique areas. For example, and Russ Reed can speak to this very well, but we worked on a workshop on cyber biosecurity, the intersection of cybersecurity programs and biotech programs. That was something that was very new, but is creating opportunity, technical career job opportunities coming out of the community colleges or universities. So I don't think that there's been a large number of change in the number of students, but it's coming a really increased awareness of career opportunities. And then students who are pursuing those jobs that are available or work-based learning opportunities in those areas. We're increasing the kinds of internships that we're making available in the community. We think long-term that's going to pay off, and also teacher and faculty externships to develop them. And we're seeing increased interest in those kinds of opportunities. So in a sense, I think the numbers are kind of a longer-term game, but we're seeing increases that we think portend well for the future.
It's an exciting area.
Yeah.
When we have to add technicians in regenerative medicine to Biotech-Careers too. And cell therapy technicians as well.
Well, and it's, I think one of the important points too with regenerative medicine, and it's probably there's other fields like this as well, that it really is truly interdisciplinary in terms of the background you need. It's not just about biology, but nanoscience and nanotechnology is very important in regenerative medicine, particularly working with scaffolds. Certainly IT in the intersection of AI and machine learning with regenerative medicine because you're creating huge amounts of data in regenerative medicine. And now practically every project we have includes capturing that data for its potential for AI and machine learning to develop predictive models. So the partners you have and where some of the jobs are occurring, for example, are with an Oracle, for example. Well, you don't think of Oracle necessarily in biotech or in regenerative medicine, but because of that intersection with AI and machine learning capabilities, now there's different kinds of opportunities emerging.
Oh, that's neat. More questions. And we need our survey link too.
Yeah.
Thanks, Cassandra.
And again, you can find additional information on these ATE projects at the innovatebio.org website, which Cassandra put in the link in the chat. And yes, there is the survey link that she also put in the chat. Thank you again, Sandy and Gary, for your presentations. And thank you for joining us, everyone, on this great Friday afternoon. And we wish everyone a peaceful and happy weekend. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. And March 8th, we'll have our next talk. We'll learn about dogs and dog genotyping, and we'll learn about some of the interdisciplinary work that AT projects are doing with automation and biotech, which should be kind of neat. And next week we have a community meeting talking about workplace learning. We'll make sure to get that out on the in our LinkedIn group, and it is on the website, and we'll put it in Facebook as well. And don't hesitate to email me if you have questions.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And I will